Hey everyone, my name is Tegan and welcome back to TandeWrites, where today we're going to be recapping my past 2 months in the query trenches. For anyone just hopping into this video for the first time, my name is Tegan. I'm usually a self-published author who's trying to make it into the digital space, and I'm currently querying my YA career contemporary about a blind boy, a deaf girl, and a bunch of tear-stained letters. And I love this book so much. This is just like my personal proof copy. Because first of all, I formatted my book to look like a real book, including everything. It's got chapter headers, it's got slight, I say illustrations, like if a letter is mentioned, the letter is in the book. But this is for like personal motivation, and also because as much as I want this book to be out in traditional publishing space for, first of all, like to prove to myself that I can do it, and also have a wider reach than I would self-publishing. I very much do enjoy self-publishing because you get full creative control over every part of the book. So yes, I am trying for traditional publishing. If that doesn't work out, I will probably self-publish it, but not because I failed, but because I love self-publishing. And I submitted my first query into the world for this book at start of February. We're now on last day of March, but I think the 8 weeks have passed, so that's like two months in my opinion. And again, it's still not going great for me. So since the last time we spoke, I have received 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rejections. Which is fine. It is fine. Some of them really stung because there were agents whose like maybe piles I've been sat on for a while. Because I have Query Tracker Premium, you can like look at the timeline of every query submitted to the agent and like when they've been replied to. So there are times where like everyone around me had been rejected, but I hadn't for a while. And I was getting my hopes up a lot, so I got rejections from 2 of those agents. And like it stung for a while because yeah, I got my hopes up. But I think usually I'm some person who, when it comes to decision making, if something's not an immediate yes, it's a no. For me, personally. So I think that yeah, if they didn't read my query and think, yeah, I'm going to reject that, accept that, or reject it straight away, then they probably don't want it. Which again is like a very pessimistic way of viewing things, but I'm just trying to like keep myself sane at this point. And out of these, like, so I got 21 total rejections and then 11 in this past month, and still they're all completely form rejections, nothing personalized, so I don't know if there's something actually wrong with my query package, or my theory that it's not just the book for right now, which we'll come back to in a bit probably if I remember. And yeah, I still don't have any partial requests, no full requests, nothing, which means there's probably an issue with the actual query or timing. And the things like that are particularly sting because the amount of like pitch contests that I see on Twitter, and I partake, I love to be part of the community, but you see let me get my words straight. These pitch contests are first of all for authors to show off their work, and then second of all for agents to interact if they're interested in your pitch. Like you can post a mood board, you can post a little bit about what your book's about, you can post these full agent guides for agents to tell them what your book's about. And a lot of people get a lot of interaction with agents. I've had nothing, and again it's a thing of, is this just not the book for right now? Or is my pitch just not getting in front of agents? It's a whole, you can like completely drive yourself crazy over thinking about this. And also because I follow a lot of aspiring authors, querying authors on Twitter, I sit there, I see they submit their query, and then some of them get a lot of requests in a very short amount of time. Some of them have an agent in a month. Some of them are having agents requesting their manuscripts like 2 hours after they submit the query. And it's like so difficult to sit there and be like, yeah, I'm so happy for you, because I look at the query, they're books that I really want to read, and I can't wait to have my shelves one day and to hold them in front of you on this camera and be like, wow, I liked this before it was cool, that kind of thing. But it's like, wow, when will it be me? But you notice there's a lot of things in common with queries, with the ones that are getting agent interactions on Twitter, and also you can go through on the Query Tracker timeline and you can see that the genre and the average word count of ones that agents have requested full or partial manuscripts for. And they're still predominantly YA, but they're fantasy, they're romantasy, they're horror, romance, fantasy. And what I'm writing is a contemporary, which when I started writing this back in, I think the origins, the first chapter may have come around in 2015, so around 10 years ago, which was in the peak time for books like The Fault in Our Stars or All the Bright Places to be popular. So I think if I managed to write this book 10 years ago and query it then, because there was such a big demand for these sad girl books, basically, this could have thrived 10 years ago. But I think it is just a case of the market doesn't want this right now. The market wants A Study in Drowning and Divine Rivals and A Dark and Drowning Tide, it wants fantasy, romance, romantasy, horror influences, folklore influences, fairy tale reimaginings, things like that. And it's like, yeah, I feel like I missed my opportunity. And also the book that I'm currently writing fits into those categories. So then I start spiraling, like, oh my god, by the time I finish it, the market would have moved on again. So that's just like a personal spiral I'm having. So it's not a case of I don't think my book's getting an agent because it's not good enough or interesting enough. I think it is just a case of it's not the right time for this book. And I don't know when the market, or if the market will shift again. Like, if I wait 5 years and query this book again, will it suddenly get attention then? I think it is just a case of it's not the right time. Which again hurts, but I'm getting a lot of experience for querying, which is fun. So compared to the average query tracker member, I have sent 47 queries. The average person sends 44. But then you get people who send hundreds and hundreds. And then you get people who send like 10, or like they send out their first batch of a couple queries and then they get an agent off the first batch because incredibly talented, incredibly lucky. And then my negative reply rate right now, as we're only 2 months in, is 44%. It's approaching half, which is fine. I think most people, there might be a couple agents who have not replied within like their average window yet, and I'm still going to give it a while before nudging them because I'm not in a rush. And there's also a bunch of agents who just don't reject you, like no reply is their rejection, and it's like, please just hit the sad, hit the red sad face button, put me out of my misery, just like remove some of the guessing game from it because that's what drives you crazy. And then my positive reply rate so far is 0% and the average member has 4.7%. I don't know if that's just like offers or representation or if it's just anyone who's got a full manuscript or a partial manuscript request. And I think despite being full of so much negativity and pessimism this month, I'm in a bit of a better headspace. Just because last month or last update video, I was doing like a weekly update. So I was like forcing myself to look at Query Tracker, go in through the details, look at the maybe piles, obsess over the numbers every week. Whereas now I don't think I've really looked at it in a couple of days. I check in a very casual way once a week, whereas last month I was checking like every other day, every day, multiple times a day to see any movement. Like the appeal's kind of worn off a little bit, and like my book's out there. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna get an agent offer from this book because it's not the right time for this genre. Why contemporary sad girl books are not the thing, it's not the trend right now. And I'm fine. I've hit acceptance. So I think my next moves are obviously keep working on my next project, which will be, I mean, based off how long it usually takes me to write books, multiple years. But it's just a distraction from obsessing over this one, because then I open a page and I'm like, oh my god, I could edit that so much better. I could spend my entire life just editing this book and maybe one day it will be right. Because then it's an obsession of, if I edit it one more time, will an agent want it? If I edit it 2 more times, will an agent want it? But no, we're putting it aside until I've had my 100% rejection rate. Until then, we're working on another little project. And I think now, I'm going to send out 2 more queries. Because I think I mentioned, I don't know if it was in my last video or in my first video where I announced that I was going to be querying this book. They'll all be in a playlist somewhere on this channel. I think I mentioned in there that I did a pitch contest in January on Twitter where it was exclusively to submit your pitch to a database and then small presses can reach out if they're interested. And I had 3 small presses reach out, one which I don't think is a good fit for me at all, one that could be, because they're like predominantly LGBT books, and then one that I think could like be my actual home. I could live there, I could move in, I could redecorate, because there's a lot of similar books. There's a book on there that I have actually read. I read the advanced copy of that I enjoyed and I really love the cover for, to the point where, you know, I could see this getting redone in that cover style and them sitting side by side on the shelf. But I think the second 2 presses, the first one was like very like dark paranormal romance, I believe, to my memory. So like, I'm not sure why they wanted my book, but I think maybe just send an email just in case. But for the 2 that I think I have a chance for, I imagine I'll be sending out my like full query package, whatever they requested from me. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's just like sample chapters and query letter, for the same for any other agent. I think this is the month I'll send those out and see who that goes, because I want to say I've tried in a sense, and also I'm not afraid to fail publicly. because I'm not really seeing it as failure. I'm thinking, I'm trying out my options. And then, I don't want to say I can just self-publish, because that's just like a terrible mindset, because self-publishing and traditional publishing are entirely different things. So much different work, and also then you have to do the entire thing yourself. But at the point where like most of this is kind of done, I could hit submit on Ingram Spark any day now. I couldn't. It needs a bit more work. So yeah, traditional querying for an agent, not going great. Not feeling optimistic, but I've come to terms with that. Gonna reach out to small presses who are the ones who reached out to me first, which is the important thing. Because it's like, wow, you might want my book. And then distracting myself by writing my other project. But that's how 2 months in the career trenches are going for me. I imagine I'll see you next month. I don't know if I'll keep doing monthly updates, because I don't know how much longer I'm going to like drag out this process. I think I posted a tweet the other day that was just like, how long do I let this go on for before I just bow out? Because again, it's like, I'm pretty confident I'm not going to get an agent for this book. But what if I did? So I'll keep you updating. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.